All right, welcome back, COSA 25 folks. Professor Almeida here. Happy Thursday morning, everyone. It's a mild morning, so I want to get these videos out before it gets ridiculously hot. And in this one, I want to talk about week 3, which will be open and available to you starting on Monday, October 7th. Remember that Canvas modules do open 2 weeks at a time, so when week 3 opens, you'll also have access to week 4. So that's coming up later in the video, but for now, I have some housekeeping items related to this week. So let's start there, especially since you have things due this weekend. All right, let's get into Canvas here. And hopefully you received this announcement about your Chapter 1 projects being due this Sunday. So be sure to read through this announcement. There are a couple of pointers about going into the weekend, and especially since we are still in the add drop period, I will continue to closely watch for participation. So make sure that you are getting assignments turned in. Now, I also want to remind you about the resources you have in this class. As a matter of fact, if you look in the welcome module here, you'll see a link to campus resources, starting with the COS tech support. Now, remember, this class is called Microsoft Access for Windows, and you need to have a Windows PC with Microsoft Access installed. If you don't have Microsoft Access available, let alone a Windows PC, you can come to campus and use the COS Computer Labs. Here are the hours for both LEC and TTC. You can also talk to our instructional assistants either in person or online. Let's say you are stuck on a particular project and you need to get assistance, you can do that. You also have the Student Technology Help Desk available to you if you need help, let's say, installing Microsoft 365 on your system. And speaking of which, I'm going to bring up Windows 11 here. You do need to have Microsoft Access installed, and the easiest way to do that is to log into office.com or go through your Viking portal to Microsoft 365. Remember that it is your student ID number at lbcc.edu. Once you are at your Microsoft 365 dashboard, you'll see this Install and More button. Choose Install Microsoft 365 apps, and then from there you can install Office and then follow the prompts. Again, you need to make sure that you have access to Access, and especially a Windows PC. If you don't, you need to make the proper arrangements, which include visiting the COS Computer Labs in person. Now, there is one other option, and that's the Citrix Student Labs in your Viking portal, but honestly, that should be used as a last resort because it is entirely browser-based, and you need to be fully online throughout the entire process when you're working with your project. So again, Citrix Student Labs, that should be an absolute last resort. Okay, and then the one last thing I wanted to share with you here, online learning, especially if you have never taken an online class or an asynchronous class like this one. Okay, so there is that. Let's scroll on down. So, Guided Project 1-2, that is due this Sunday. Be sure to watch the walkthrough video on how this project works from start and finish. As a matter of fact, I have Guided Project 1-2 open right here. So remember, you need both the start file and your resources. Follow the instructions carefully, and wherever they give you hints. So for example, right here, where they tell you to go into the Create tab, Tables group, to create a new table, write that hint down, make a note of it somewhere because you're going to need it again for your 2 independent projects. Now, in the independent projects, they're not going to tell you how to create a new table. They're just going to ask you to create a new table. Okay, so again, take note of the hints that they give you because you will need them for your 2 independent projects, as you can see here in week 2. Once you have completed your 2 independent projects, the last thing is to check in with me using the success check-in. Now, by the end of the second week, most, if not all of you, especially if you're using your 14-day courtesy access, most, if not all of you, will need to purchase access to SimNet. And the easiest way to do that is directly in SimNet for about $60 plus tax. Let me show you real quick here. So again, the easiest way to purchase access to SimNet. So here we are in SimNet. Click on your name, go to the products tab, pay for access. Again, this is the easiest way right here, $60 plus tax. Or if you go to the bookstore, you can scratch off the access card and then enter the code right here. And then of course that last option, that's your 14-day courtesy access. By the end of the second week, I'm going to expect that you have full access to SimNet. And by checking in with me, you will unlock access to week 3 when Monday, October 7th rolls around. So if Monday rolls around and this is still grayed out, it means that you didn't check in with me, and you'll have to go into the Success Check-in Forum. This forum closes on Sunday night, so be sure to let me know that you have full access to the materials. Again, check the prompt in the discussion thread for details. All right, week 3. So this is going to be the pattern for the next couple of weeks here. Be sure to check out the overview for week 3. We're going to be learning how to create tables in Design View. So for chapter 1, you've learned how to create tables in Datasheet View. Now we're going to see it with Design View, and we'll also look at validation and relationships. Again, take a look at the overview page here for details. You can see that I have an older announcement video from way back in the day, but you can see what we will be covering for chapter 2, and then you have your action items. So again, the action items, it's going to be pretty much the same from week to week. You'll have your chapter sim book here, you'll have a guided project, and then an independent project. As before, watch the walkthrough video for the guided project. Okay, for 2-1, I've put together a video again showing you from start to finish. And that's basically the game plan for week 3. Again, if you're already done with chapter 1, you'll have to wait for Monday, and weeks 3 and 4 will be open and available to you then. So on that note, enjoy the rest of your week. Let's make sure that we are getting our assignments turned in. I know I've sent out a couple of reminders through the Canvas inbox. Take care of yourselves out there. Utilize that support, and I'll see you around. And by the way, I will be in the Canvas live chat later this morning, 9 a.m. until noon. Again, every Thursday, I'm in the Canvas live chat. Mondays, I'm in person, M229 from 1:30 to 3:30. All right, take care of yourselves.